Next up in our deep dive into Eugenia Cooney, we have a video on Eugenia's channel called Awkward Situations. What you can see here, it kind of looks like she filmed this on the same day as she filmed her last one, which was how to break up with someone, which was just a comically themed video. This looks like it's also going to just be a goofy themed video as opposed to any type of BC or show off, because she's fully covered like she was last time. I don't think her content had geared toward what it is now at this point. There were like little small hints of it, like you can see here and here. Like she was doing small show offs, body show offs, like intentional show offs. But this one just looks like it's going to be back to her comedic theme. So let's dive in and take a look. Take a little trip down memory lane here. I wonder too if the reason she filmed what looked to be a couple of videos or like a few videos in the same day, just based off her outfit, is because I remember at this time she said she was only posting once a week, so maybe she was just kind of stockpiling them.
Hey guys, it's Eugenia. Today I'm going to be talking about some awkward situations that you may or may not go through in your life, so here we go. When your mom wants to go to YouTube events with you.
Hey Eugenia, can I go to playlist? Huh? Let's go.
I wonder, actually, that's so interesting that her mother appeared in this video, because I think it might be the first time her mother actually appeared as kind of like a main focus on her channel at this point. And I wonder if that was an actual awkward moment or if it was just a joke of a moment, because it seems very like niche and specific to YouTube creators who would go to YouTube conventions. But it is interesting that she says it's awkward when your mom wants to go with you. So like her constantly being with her mom, like to this day, is that a her thing or is that a her mom thing? Is it her mom who always wants to go with her and just be with her all of the time, or is it Eugenia asking her mom to come along? Because in this video it seems like it's actually her mother who's asking to go with her places, or her mother who wants to be with her constantly.
You're going in the public bathroom and you think it's not being used, and then you walk in and it turns out that someone is in there. This is especially awkward if it's a men's room and then you go in and there's a guy in there. Yeah. Hey! I was in here, you get out! Oops, sorry. You're alone in your
That one seemed a little bit more fake. But going back to what I was saying really quick about her and her mother, I also feel like if it was her mother asking to go with her and Eugenia's referring to it as an awkward situation, I would say that shows that Eugenia was a little bit more independent during this time. She just seems to be more dependent nowadays, but it seems like when she was younger and when she was first starting her YouTube career, she was more independent and was cool to go places without her mom or just go do whatever she wanted.
room, and then you look across and your brother is actually in there watching you. When you're having a conversation with someone and you can't
Okay, that was kind of a weird one because I know there's some like weirdness going on between her whole family. So she just said right now an awkward moment is when you're in your room and you don't know your brother's in there watching you. That just seems kind of like a weird sus comment. Could just be like a sibling thing, but just considering how odd this family seems to be, and she's made a lot of weird brother sister type of jokes. I don't know. I'm a little bit sus about that comment.
understand a word they're saying, but after a while you don't want to be rude and keep saying what, so you're kind of just like, yeah, just, you know, go along with it. When you like a guy and he finally talks to you and then you just end up saying the stupidest thing in the world. If he gives you a compliment and he's like, oh, nice outfit today, and then you're just saying something back like, oh yeah, you have a nice outfit too. When your evil teacher hears you over saying that you hate her.
Okay, so two interesting things here. One, I do wonder if she's drawing from real experience in all of these awkward scenarios, or if she's just making them up, because the first one was very personal, and a lot of them seem like they could happen to like everyone. So maybe that's the point, that they're universally a thing, except the first one, obviously, because we're not all going to video conventions, and our moms are not all asking us to go to video conventions. But this one's interesting too about the teacher, because she says if you're caught talking smack about your teacher, basically, Eugenia doesn't strike me as the type who would do that, or at least from what we know of her.
For him.
I heard you and I hate you. You're gonna be in detention for 2 weeks because you said you're gonna lick me.
There's something that you really want to go to, but you can't go because you have to stay at home and watch your dog.
again, it's like she's drawing from real experiences here, but I can't tell whether they're just goofy or not. Um, and I do wonder if she did have to stay home and watch her dog at points. But then I don't think her family ever really leaves the house, so this is probably just a goofy type of thing, right? Shout out to Buzz, though. Rest in peace.
When you hear your best friend talking Angela is actually a pet. Angela's my best friend, and she would never hurt me. And don't you dare think about dissing talking Angela, because she is an amazing friend, and I really don't appreciate all the hate going on about her right now because she doesn't deserve it. So don't you dare think of dissing my friend Angela, or else.
So the weird thing about this is that obviously she's joking, but I find it so weird that like back in this era, she joked a lot about these type of things like heads and stuff like that. Like she would make jokes like referencing them like so easily, just like they rolled off her tongue. And I find it interesting that she's obviously joking and she's like, "Oh, don't call my friend this." She's not blah blah, and it's she's kidding. She's not actually defending something. But what's interesting here is that later on, like nowadays, or like a year or two, whatever ago, when she had like mods for her channel and Discord and stuff, apparently her mods were accused of being inappropriate with the young people and the young like teens and kids in her server. And Eugenia just glossed over it and defended them and acted like nothing was wrong. So this here, even though she's like joking and mocking people who do this, she actually unironically becomes one of these people who, when someone says your friend did this or someone did this, she's like, no, they didn't. They would never. They're a good person. And like, so that is kind of it's kind of a odd one there.
Do that again.
When you get caught listening to the Naked Brothers band.
So I was wrong. This does seem kind of like an obvious BC show off because it seems like a reason for her to just, throw up her arms and show off her rib cage, which we obviously see very prominently there. Thought it wasn't going to be because she was fully covered, but I guess I was wrong there.
When your dad wants to talk to you about where you're going with your life and you don't know. When somebody tells you a joke that you really don't understand.
Again, is she drawing from personal experience here? Did her dad ever ask her where she wanted to go for her life and she didn't know? I mean, at this time she was like, what, 18 or 19? That would be probably an interesting conversation that she probably did have if she was doing YouTube and she was pursuing that and her dad was asking her, like, what are you trying to do with your life? Because remember at this time she said she was struggling between she wanted to be a YouTuber but also an actress and a model, and she was like trying to pursue this entertainment path. But she said that people kind of look at you weirdly when you try to do it, but luckily her family supported her. So I wonder if her dad was just like, well, what are you doing? Because at this time, YouTube especially was like not what it is now, where people knew that you could actually make some kind of a job out of it. So back then it was probably even more like, what are you doing? You're just at home filming videos all day and posting them online.
But you don't want to be rude, so you kind of just need to go along with it and pretend to laugh. I'm an excellent fake laugher. When you promise to do something and then you forget. When someone really annoying wants to hang out with you and you really don't want to hang out with them, you come up with any excuse that you can think of, like just like, oh, I need to go pet the ducks at the lake today, so I can't, I'm sorry. When you are
So yeah, I think she's kind of drawing from real experience here and just making things up. But I do think like it's interesting that she would even say like, "Oh, and there's someone annoying that you want to hang out with." Because I feel like in nowadays Eugenia would never call anyone annoying. She'd be like, "No one's annoying. Everyone's perfect. Everyone's kind. Let's look at the brighter side of everyone." So it's just interesting that back at this time she was much more bold and willing to be fearless with what she said and make fun of mean teachers or say people were talking smack about teachers or say people were annoying or just anything that she says here, like that you would qualify or quantify as a little bit edgier, she wouldn't say those things nowadays. That's why it's so interesting to me. I know they're like so small and you wouldn't even think twice about them if just anybody else said them. But when it comes from someone like her who has made it a point to just act like peace and kindness and love is like everything, it's just interesting that she would refer to some people as annoying, even in a joking manner, because she's just so anti that now. I want to show a clip from the Shane Dawson documentary of Eugenia Cooney where he asks her if you've ever said anything bad about someone or anything, and she references a time where she didn't even say anything, and it's just like this, like a sweet, naive, vulnerable moment, and it's just like compare that girl to this girl. It's they're worlds apart.
Are talking and talking and talking, and then you realize that no one is actually listening to you. When you finish a test before everybody in your class, and you don't really want to be the first person to hand in your test, so you kind of just awkwardly sit there and wait for someone else to be done first, and then you can hand in your test.
These do definitely sound like real life drawn moments now. Um, Hers saying when you talk and talk and talk and no one's listening, or her talking about the test. I feel like these are things that happen to people every day, and so obviously they've been happening to her too. But it kind of seems like she's drawing from real life experiences, but throwing in some exaggeration with them.
Eye contact. I hope that you are having a magical day. Do you like lamps? Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, then be sure to give it a like because that really helps me out and I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet so you can see new videos from me every Monday because that's the day I upload, so then you can come to my channel and watch me and stuff, and yay! Comment below some awkward situations that you've been in or things that you think are awkward because I would love to know. And I will see you guys next week. I love you all. Bye!
So yeah, that just seemed for
Or things that you
the majority of the video to just be a goofy video about real life situations that may or may not have happened to her. Majority of them kind of seemed like they did. She seemed like she was drawing from just relatable experiences there. I'm still really surprised that her mother was in the first few seconds of the video, or like the first skit of the video, because I believe it's the first time we see her. I know we saw her before, like when she was at a convention. The camera kind of swerved and it showed her mom was there. So her mom definitely did join her at the conventions, which is why I feel like that was a real moment because her mom did go to the convention. Her mom did go to the YouTube convention with her, the one that she was so excited to go to. She wanted to go alone. Maybe she wanted more independence. Maybe she wanted to be more free without her parents kind of like hovering over her. But yeah, I do feel like that one's probably real. And maybe at the time, Eugenia wanted more independence, more space. I do know when Eugenia later becomes friends with Jacqueline Glenn, which is another YouTuber, that Jacqueline Glenn actually said that Eugenia felt like she could not leave her mom because her mom made her scared that if she left her, something would happen to her. So she said that Eugenia was under the impression that if she left her mom would pass away. Like it was a very real fear in her. So she wanted to be with her constantly and wanted her to go everywhere with her. And they always traveled everywhere together and things like that. So I don't know. I know that's what Jacqueline has said. So I find it kind of interesting that back when she was like, what, 18 or 19, she kind of seemed like she wanted more independence and she could have done without her mom being around all the time. And then when she got older, she kind of wanted her around all the time because, according to her former friend, Jacqueline Glenn, her mom led her to believe that if Eugenia wasn't with her all of the time, something bad would happen. So I find that interesting. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think that she was drawing from real experiences here, if it sounded like she was talking about things that actually happened to her, or if she was just trying to be relatable in general. My two, I guess, like sus moments here would be, well, three sus moments would be the mother and Eugenia saying that it's awkward when your mom wants to come along, but you don't really want her there. Second one, would I would say the weird brother thing. Because why is your brother in your room staring at you? Is that I don't know. Like if you think about it from like an 8-year-old perspective, like when you're 8 and your brother's trying to annoy you, and he's like coming into your room to bug you and just like kind of like when someone comes into your room and you're like, get out, and they're like, I'm not in your room, I'm not in your room, but they're actually in your room. But that doesn't really sound like this experience. She just had her like a brother being in your room staring at you. That's very strange. The third one I would say that was sus to me was the show off where she was lifting her arms up for no reason to well, she was dancing, but it just seemed like excessively just to show off that portion of her torso. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you saw that I didn't see, what you know that I don't know. Just leave your comments in the comments below.